Should I give it a little sniff, maybe?
Yeah, keep turning. What is different about the shoe?
Sure, there's actually a lot going on, I must say. Heel's a lot different. It feels a lot more stable, which is quite cool. That's great for lifting. Small things. I noticed on the front of the shoe, so here and on the inside, it's kind of like a perspex material.
Yeah.
So I think that might be meant for rope climbs.
Hi!
Hi.
Hello, Stephanus.
We're doing a shoe unboxing.
So that's something I noticed.
Yeah.
And then overall design. It's a lot different to something they've done in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, this piece here, that's pretty cool. It's creating kind of like a swish, which I like.
It's pretty dope.
Haven't tried them on yet, so we'll do another review later.
Nice. Maybe you lifting in them.
Definitely.
I quite dig this under part as well.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
cool. It's very, very cool. Nice. I really like the design actually. Stevie, what do you think?
I love it. I really do.
Yeah, it's very
I like
I think
this.
it's very cool.
The old cage I wasn't a big fan of. This is quite cool.
Yeah.
It also feels like a high quality.
I think
It just feels like
feels more
more
expensive.
compact. Like
I don't know. I think you nailed it there. Like the whole shoe just feels different and
Yeah, it's high,
like
better
it's
quality.
just yeah. They've definitely upped it with the shoe
yeah.
for sure.
I agree.
Nice.
So something pretty cool, Joshi, that our members don't know. This is the official shoe of the Motley mashup, which is happening 6th of May. And the official launch of the shoe is happening in the gym on the 8th of May. So 2 pretty cool things happening. Official shoe of the mashup. I think members can stand a chance to win a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Official launch happening 8th of May. So members, make sure you're in the box. Come check it out.
Yeah. So basically, the mashup is like almost the official launch in South Africa of the shoe, basically.
Pretty
It's
much.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Reebok team will be on the 8th of May to do the official launch.
Maji, what are you up to?
Lots of admin.
Lots of admin.
Mid-month admin.
What is mid-month admin?
Mainly contract renewals, so that people renew their contracts before they can't book. And just general, there's still lots of drop-ins, visitors,
Nice.
all sorts.
Ready to it?
Did you coach today as well?
Right.
Even yesterday?
It's crazy.
No, yesterday was fun.
Got a crit on yesterday's warm-up?
No, today was too long.
I didn't. I just did 10 of them. I couldn't look at the time and go,
Wait, yesterday?
today? Like 20 seconds.
I see there's a lot of, like,
10
yeah,
seconds.
seconds.
10 seconds. I'm like, couldn't. I did 10 of everything. Oh man. Joshy. How that feel? You okay?
Feel my presence. Lens. Do a specimen, bro. Do a specimen. Is Josh joining our handstand session?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, I'm all handstand it out already. Too many reps.
Too many reps.
Because it's a lot to do with more balance awareness than it is pure strength. So a lot of people have toes to bar strength and have that like that hip tuck, that compression. Whoa, completely. But a lot of it is to do with like positional awareness more than strength.
But fucking tell you, need to get your ankles together, brother. First things first.
So it's not about the legs. At my best handstand holds, I've been in my legs are in a V. Kicked up too quickly.
Are you a good handstand holder?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got 30 seconds like 2 weeks ago.
Whoa.
I'm
Wow.
really happy with that.
I'd be very happy.
And then, like, just 5 seconds since then.
Did you record 30 seconds?
I didn't.
Oh, didn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't count unless it's a video.
The twins were here, so.
What are we about to do? Hey?
Handstand.
Handstands, your favorites?
She's pretty impressive athlete that's been around in the space for quite a long time. When she said she's going to be here, thought let's take advantage. Been trying to get her to do a handstand workshop here for ages now.
I fully offered this.
And then yesterday she was like, hey, maybe we should do this. I was like, yes, coaches. Okay, so the coaches are going to do a bit of work with her, try and take it all in.
Yeah.
There's not many people that know more about this stuff than her.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be really fun to like obviously help you guys individually with all your handstands and balance work and like tools you can take away in practice, but also things that you can teach people. So like little tips and tricks that on how to coach it and how to get people kicking up to the wall for the first time. Like there's ways to do that as well. So just like tips and tricks and confident on your hands. It's just really fun. So that's what I thought we could take away from today. Sound good? Yes. Alright, so the first thing we're going to play with, and it's going to be kind of like a wrist warm-up and balance work drill, is something called Pro. Have you guys all heard of Pro before? Have you all done it?
Well, we've done our version. I don't know.
I've never
As good as your
You've
version.
never heard of Pro? You'll know it when you describe it. Alright guys, come, let's make like a circle. We'll get really cute and make like a little circle face each other. We've practiced that today with weightlifting. Alright, so the idea of a handstand, actually stay stand, yeah. The idea of a handstand is to think of your hands similar to what your feet are doing, okay? So when we're trying to balance and we're standing on your feet, we're using all areas of your foot, okay? So you're using the pads underneath your knuckles, you're using your toes, you're using the heel, you're using all areas. Now when we're balancing on our hands, we kind of want to be doing the same thing. So if you're finding that your weight is more in one area of your hand than the other, it's not efficient and you're probably not going to stay there for very long. Okay, same as if we're like trying to stay on our heels, we're trying to stay on your toes for too long, very hard to stay still. Okay, so we're going to practice that down on the floor. So everyone come on down. Now the position of your hands will differ from person to person and it takes a little bit of trial and error to figure that out for you. But ideally you want your index finger to point to 12 o'clock. That's going to be like your rule. And then everything else kind of hands up from then. You want really wide fingertips. And you're going to grip the floor. So you're going to press your finger pads into the floor, and then you want to press your knuckles into the floor as well, and then the heel. So you've got these three contact points, your fingertips, underneath your knuckles, and your heel of your hand. So like that, okay? Now once I've got that grip, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my knees up on the back of my triceps. So I'm in this little squatty position. I'm going to do that, okay? Now if your knees are pointing out to the side, I want to challenge you to try and get your kneecaps, the bony part of your knees and your triceps. And it's not fun, but we won't be doing it for long. Almost, so you're on the inside of your knees there, Martin.
Cheat.
Where should I be?
So like right now you're like this.
Put some hands
I
on
want like that. Yes. Okay. So now you've got the bony part aligned. As you go to balance, guys, I want you to look slightly forward. So I want you to think about the physics. Look forward so that your head's leaning forward. Grip the floor and then lift your feet. Yes. Just don't do it for too long. You get nice bruises. Nice. That was really good.
So where do we
It's
look?
really hard. Take your hands slightly
Forward.
wider. Your hands
Forward.
are quite close. Look forward. So it's like a weighing
It's
scale.
like almost
So you've
handstand.
got-
Almost like looking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard when you're so muscly.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
You just bone on bone.
Try again. So even if you're not balancing, try and take your hands slightly wider. You can lean into it, take one foot,
Yeah.
grip the floor, feel it, and then see if you can lift the other. Go slow.
Your bones
Yay!
kick into each other.
So now when you guys do that again, I want you to think about what your hands are doing. Okay, so like when we're standing, you might notice that you're now having to shift your weight through your hands to balance. Okay, so when you're in this position here, I want you to try and think about what your fingertips are doing and how much they're working to try and keep you in that balanced position. Okay, so do another like 10 seconds. Okay, I know it sucks. You always like when you coach this to people, they always leave with little bruises in the back of their triceps. It's great. So our handstand mobility or our mobility through our shoulders plays a big role in your ability to be able to get a nice straight line. Okay, so we were just kind of speaking about that before, about stacking your bones so that you've got that alignment. The better your alignment, the better your efficiency, the longer you can hold it. Okay, so people that really struggle to get overhead mobility, but at the same time core activation, are going to find it hard to get that nice, pretty straight line when they're holding. Okay, so you'll find a lot of the bigger, stronger, more muscly men struggle with mobility, but then they have. Actually, I love it. I intentionally did not make eye contact with any muscly men. They tend to find it harder to get that kind of alignment. So then you'll look at like their mobility side rather than a strength side. Then you've got some people with great mobility, but then struggle with the connective tissues to hold that stability in that position. So there's like two sides of this.
And what if you're skinny?
The first way is I'm going to lie on my back. Okay, so when I lie on my back, I'm going to do the hardest hollow hold I've ever done. My goal is to like tense every single muscle in a nice straight line. So I'm going to flex my quads, point my toes. I'm going to have a slight like natural curve in my lower back because that's realistic. I'm going to try and keep my ribs down, but at the same time get my hands behind my head, and I'm going to tighten my wrists with foot. Okay, so it looks like this. Oh, my abs are cramping. Fix it there. Okay. Oh. So you might see some men tend to struggle to get it there, and they might be more there, or they might be there, in order to get their wrists flat. Okay, so give that a try. See if you can activate your ribs pulling down at the same time as getting those wrists to the floor. Give that a try.
I already failed.
Because like, I don't want to do this. But point your toes, you can keep your heels on the floor. That's totally fine. There. Sucks. So try and like activate as much as you can to that core.
Saw my shoulders.
Down, belly button down, tuck your hips under, put your head down.
It's so my shoulders.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of mobility, we've got flexibility as well as activation. That is the mobility that we want to work on to improve your alignment on the handstand. Okay? Now, we're going to flip that. We're going to make it a little bit easier and we're going to go on our front. Now we're going to do that same alignment. But now, lying on your front, I want you to see if you can lift your belly button away from the floor and ribs off the floor. So we're trying to squeeze against your feet. Looks like this. Oh, my abs are so sore. All right, so give that a try. You can put your face on the floor. You're going to lift your lower ribs off and try and tuck your bum and lift your belly button off the floor. And then push your hands into the floor. Chest on the ground, yeah. But your belly off.
So this looks easier.
This is much easier mobility-wise, but can you feel that activation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for some people that's still
Looks
tough.
freak.
I find that. Yeah. You're just showing off your mobility now.
Look at this.
But
Prime
try
South
and tuck
African
your
rump
bum
right
under.
there.
Yeah, that's better. So you're tucking your pelvis, you're pulling your belly button up, and you're pulling your ribs off the floor. Do you feel that? That is core activation for a handstand. Okay? So when you're trying to teach someone how to switch on their transverse abdominis, so like the lower abs that deep down, going off the floor is a good feedback point. So if you lie on your front and then you say, okay, I'm going to lift my belly button off the floor, and you're squeezing that up, that's a really good way to teach how to activate those lower abs, because you can feel that, right? Okay. So now, standing up. Cool. So if you have very limited overhead mobility, things to work on would be your classic lat stretch here. You know, all those lat openers and help with that overhead stretch. So you're working on your flexibility, but then you've got some people that need to work on their stability. So you've got stability or flexibility. That tends to be why people can't hold their handstands. Those are the two reasons, okay? So when we're looking at our flexibility, it's all about opening up through those lats and your overhead position. When we're looking at stability, we're looking at loading the overhead position. Okay, so that is actual handstand holds on the wall, doing overhead walks, things like that, or just simply practicing and developing that over time. Okay. So now we're going to look at a way to kick up into a handstand. Okay. So can anyone cartwheel? Who hasn't cartwheeled since they were a kid? What do you mean? Show us. Way! So this is a great way. So doing cartwheels as a warm-up is a great way. I know you probably call it handstand. I call it handstand. It's a great way to get people upside down and teaching them how to fall. Okay, so I always start with cartwheels in a class because it gets people to kick up and to try. Okay, so the goal of the cartwheel is to think like hand goes down towards your foot, other hand goes over there, and then I'm going to get this foot next to this hand, and then repeat onto the other side. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay. Now, if I've got a class with a lot of beginners, I will encourage them to still try and do that pattern, but they don't have to go over the top. So hands down, and I'm still doing that pattern, and I can build up the confidence over time. Okay. If you're a seasoned athlete and you feel like that's going to be really easy, try and slow it down. So you're going into those. So trying to slow down the control of a nice cartwheel. Okay, so let's practice like a few cartwheels. You can stick to one side. You don't have to go both ways.
Parkour!
Because I can go the other way. Give it a try. Nice.
Very graceful.
Mobility.
Yeah.
Go, David! David! Panic! Woo!
Such an off. Recording, just notice the you can zoom here. Everything's right. So it's good.
Okay, David, another one.
Just one.
Now your goal is to try and do this way. That's really pretty. I can do it.
Okay, go Cass.
Nice. Now try and land a little bit softer. So instead of like a,
So you go like this then?
yeah,
You started this way.
try and control.
Nice, man. Okay, Buff.
Maybe try to the other side.
Yes. Beautiful.
Can't do the other way. I'm panic.
Hold it. This zooms. Turn that zooms in.
Yeah. He's just going into a one-arm handstand and pulling.
In my mind, it looks like a professional.
Alright guys, the next step. That was phenomenal. Now I can't.
That was some Cirque du Soleil shit. Oh,
You
no.
don't have to do both.
How's it feel to be on this side of the camera?
Weird.
Alright guys, so now we're going to take the cartwheel, okay, and we're now going to do, instead of going sideways, we're going to go forwards, okay? Now what this is teaching you, as well as if we're teaching members, is a safe way to come down from a handstand, okay? So just like a cartwheel, I go into my handstand or go into my balance, and I bring one leg down at a time to the side. We're now going to do that facing forwards. So instead of going like this, I'm now going to go like this.
So I'm good at that one.
Okay? So I'm picking up and then I'm bringing my feet down to the side. Now, if you've got a lot of momentum, you can also move one hand out of the way and to bring your legs down. So that would look like this. And then I'm into my cartwheel. Okay, so that's the safest way to come down from a handstand. And that's the first thing I always teach is an exit route of how people can come down. Okay, so just like your cartwheel, I want you guys to try and kick up forwards and come down.
You just rotate your hand around.
Just rotate, so you,
like that, kind of.
well, doesn't matter where it goes, you kind of just want to move it out the way. So, move my hand and come down. Yeah. I know, it's just a triangle. Yeah. You just want to kick up. We're going to warm up drills, we're feeling good. Okay. So staying still in a handstand is a lot to do with that activation that we spoke about lying on the floor. Okay? And squeezing the floor like we did in those crow positions. Okay? Now, as I kick up, my goal is intent of holding. So a lot of the time people kick up, especially in a CrossFit environment, they just kick up and they go, okay, now I'm gonna hold. Now I'm gonna hold. Okay, wait, now I'm gonna hold. All right, so the idea is to have a different setup than what you would do if you were walking or doing handstand push-ups. Okay, you have to kick up with the intent that you're gonna hold it. So I'm gonna put my hands on the floor. The position or the width of your hands depends on your mobility. So checking that lying down on the floor, if you've got good mobility, you can stack them underneath your shoulders. If you struggle with the mobility, it needs to go slightly wider to ensure that you've got that position, okay? And then your hands will rotate accordingly. So good mobility, it would be fingers facing 12 o'clock underneath your shoulders. As things start to get less mobile, you can go slightly wider and rotate your hands a little bit, just to ensure you've got straight arms, okay? It's really hard to hold anything with a bent arm, just to make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders, okay? So, here. Now, before I kick up, I wanna activate all that core stuff and my shoulders before I've even left, my feet have left the floor. So I'm gonna place my hands on the floor. I'm first going to, let's hook this up. I'm first going to squeeze my lower ribs in and squeeze my pelvis tucked under. So I'm just holding all this nice and tight. It's hard to breathe, I'm squeezing it really good. I'm gonna put my hands on the floor. I'm gonna set myself up, make my shoulders as long as possible, and only then will I try to pick up. Okay, so once I've got that solid base, only then will I try to kick up. Holding two legs over your head in a straight line is a lot harder than one and then the other one balancing out, okay? So don't rush yourself to get both legs up. How I just did that now is I just kicked up, let the other leg stick out, focus on that balance, and then come back down again. Okay? Just like that. Just like that.
Just do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, got it.
Just one
What we
leg,
did yesterday, and it works really well with a lot of people, is a step-by-step process of kicking up. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little mini kick, come back down. A little bit more of a mini kick, come back down. A little bit more, oh, I found some balance, shit, come back down. Okay, rather than going for that cartwheel first off. Okay, so from this position here, I'm just gonna do a mini kick. Okay, come back down, mini kick. Okay, come back down, mini kick. Okay, shit, there, I'm holding it. Woo! Come back down.
Too big.
Okay? Alright, give that a try. Mini kicks, mini kicks, mini kicks. And then come back down. So,
This dominant leg stays behind.
so the way I do that is I have whatever leg goes forward in my split jerk
Yeah.
is the leg that's at the front.
Yeah, so less dominant leg stays behind.
But they're kind of, they're both working, So the leg that's at the back, the hamstring is swinging up, and this leg that's at the front is like a jump. So from here, this is a swing and a jump. Swing and a jump. Yeah. I want a little bit longer holds, and we can look at that alignment while you're upside down.
Oh, Martino.
Oh, it's because you got a good tan.
The spicy shorts. Alright, so the spotter will stand on the side of the straight leg. Okay, so I want you to put one foot forward, one foot back. Cool, so I'm on the right side. So I'm going to stay on the side. The leg that swings up first is the leg I'm going to catch. And I'm only going to catch that leg. If you've ever been upside down and someone's holding both feet, it's terrifying. Okay, so don't do that to people. So when he goes upside down, I'm going to spot one leg. Okay? Now I'm going to place your hands on the floor for me. I'm going going to place one foot slightly in front. Now this is so that I don't get smacked in the face, but I also can safely support him. If I stand both here, I'm using all obliques to support him. Okay, so I'm going to have one foot forward, one foot back, so I can move out the way so he doesn't smack me in the face. Don't smack me in the face. Okay. Now, as a coach or as the spotter, I'm looking for alignment. So, line your shoulders up over your hands. Cool. Now, I want you to try and press this to the ceiling. Yeah. Squeeze your abs really tight. Good. You can bring your hips down a little bit. There we go. But keep your shoulders over your hands. Okay. Now, big kick. I'm going to catch your leg. Cool. Now, in this position, nice. I want you to stay looking at the floor. Nice. All right, come back down for a second. So as the coach, what I'm looking for is a nice smooth line over his middle of his hands. So all I'm doing is leaning back so I can help him find that balance. Now your second leg, the second leg that he had that was having a little bit, you know those little men? Those men outside the car showrooms? That's what your leg is doing. So that second leg, there's two things that you can do with it. The one is you can keep it flexed and go into like a 90-degree position, or you can do the flamingo, which is my favorite. Flamingos are great. Okay, so as you pick up, you're going to tuck that second leg into a flamingo, and it's like the easiest way to hold a handstand. So what I would like you to do is as you kick up now, I want you to bring the inside of your foot to the inside of your knee. Okay? So think really tall, pull up through here, yeah. Okay, and keep your eyes square in here, don't lose that. Yeah. Okay, big kick.
Oh, flamingo.
Flamingo, nice straight leg. Point your toes to the ceiling, nice. Now he's in a strong position. I can help him find that alignment by pushing him from one way to another way. Good, lean into your fingertips.
Good pull. Oh, look at that, look at that. Whoa!
Very good, nice. Alright, bring it, you guys.
I have my breath for 90 seconds.
So that's the other thing is like people do hold their breath, encourage breathing because holding your breath for any length of time is hard, never mind when you actually need the oxygen to use it, okay? So buddy up, partner with someone, and I will walk around as well. Try and help each other find that alignment.
Flamingo! Flamingo! So, are you Flamingtons?
Point your chest.
Just keep coming to me.
That's a really good line.
You got such a good line, bro.
Between your fingers, not through. Your eyes. There we go. Yes, that's
So graceful.
nice.
Flamingo!
That was awesome.
That feels weird.
Looking
Like
slightly
looking up a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so when you tuck slightly through, so I haven't done it lately, but trying to balance upside down is really hard. So seeing your proprioception upside down is really, really, really tough. If you can look at something that's fixed, it's much easier to balance. So like let's say you take to one leg and you look at something that's not moving, that's right in front of you, it's so much easier than looking through. So what I do is I'll find like a tiny speck, make eye contact with it. It is your speck for the next 30 seconds. All right, and then from there, I'm now gonna kick up and just keep my eyes fixed on it because it's gonna help me to feel that balance, yeah? And you don't wanna be in that position. It's almost like you're looking through the top of your eyebrows. So it's like that. It's a good look when you're upside down. Okay, so we're gonna look at some tips and tricks you guys can use on the wall. So you don't always have a buddy around to practice your handstands. We're gonna look at how we can use the wall to help you with that, okay? How much time do we have left? 25 minutes. Okay, cool, cool, come over this way.
Oh, we got time.
Yeah. Yay, handstand. So the wall is very similar to the floor in that it can give you some great feedback on alignment, but it can also be your buddy to spot you like what we were just doing, okay? However, if we kick up to the wall this way, it's building up that awareness of that position. So we're actually going to go off a wall walk this way, okay? And I don't want to be too close because I want to have some kind of leverage to feel the balance, okay? Now my goal is I'm going to be one leg away from the wall-ish, so about there. And I'm going to bring, tall people, you're going to have fun with this one. It's okay, we'll make it work. Okay, we're going to bring one leg off, okay? And I'm going to keep the other foot on the wall. From there, I'm going to think about all those activation points. So I'm going to think of where are my eyes, what am I doing with my hands, length through my shoulders, not just the one, activating through my core, activating through my hips, my legs stiff. Okay, now I'm going to try and balance. Okay, so it looks like this. So from here, I'm going to bring one leg off. I'm first going to check in with everything, focus on really trying to align my hips over my head, over my shoulders, and my foot on the wall automatically starts to get light. So if you've got, Martin's like funny. So if you've got alignment through your body, your foot on the wall shouldn't be carrying all your weight. Okay, so if you can stack everything nicely over your hands, think tall, okay, you can come back. You can come back. And then you can
Flamingo!
come back. Flamingo!
The shoes!
Flamingo! Alright, let's give that a try. If you're nervous to do that, keep a buddy to spot you. So you can keep a buddy to help you so that you don't fall over. Right, no spotter this time. You know how to fall, okay? So from here, activate everything. You're going to try and kick, little kick, a little bit more into that flamingo. Okay, give that a try.
Into flamingo.
Flamingo.
Flamingo!
You have to say it fast, David.
Flamingo.
I'm going to call it the crane.
Crane! Crane! Yes! Wait, slowly.
Yes, that was it.
3, 2, 1, little hoppy. Slow hop. Yeah, slow hop. Oh, shit! Little sweat hop. Big hoppy and a flamingo. Flamingo! Wow! Flamingo, it's my best! Oh, look at Martinez there.
So you want to find that.
Oh, Martino! What's happening? Why are you walking? Is the flamingo the
Nice.
easier to hold that than that? Usually feel more comfortable. Levers.
No, it's just easier because like when you've got long levers away from your center, you've got more to control. Yeah.
See, for people, CrossFit.
100%. So you're shortening one of the levers, makes it much easier. So we've got 3 minutes for you guys to try shortening both levers.
Wait.
Ooh! This one's my favorite. Exactly. We're gonna bunny. Alright, so the next one, so we've done what you'd call a scissor kick, so one leg going up and then the other leg. My favorite way of getting into handstand is to hop both legs. Okay? It's really fun because it keeps, it's just fun, but it keeps your hips in alignment. So sometimes when we twist up, then you can throw yourself off, whereas if you hop both up, you're keeping them in alignment. And this is the first step to your straddle handstand. Ah, cool. He wants to do a straddle press to handstand.
I'll show you after.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring both feet in alignment. I'm going to activate through my upper back and through my abs. Now when we do the scissor kick up, I swing one leg and hop the other leg, right? When I do this way, I'm swinging my hips and hopping both legs. So I do like a bum swing and then hop both feet, okay? So it looks like this. I have to put the brakes on there. So you can do little hop, little hop, little hop, try and hold it, okay? So little hop, try and hold it. Okay?
Now you overcook it. So now you put the brakes on to use your hands. So now tap and roll or turn. Yeah, tap and turn.
I'm not really.
Don't stop and roll.
No, turn up. Rambo roll.
Nice. That was good. So when you feel like you're being pulled back down, it's often not because your hips aren't high enough, but because your knees don't follow through a little bit higher. So as you walk down, try and get your knees from your tuck to like a knife.
Oh my God,
Then you don't want to do that. You want to keep your feet.
What's good? Yes, Mark, look at that. Yes, man, that's a double.
Hey, I'm Meg. I love coaching handstands and CrossFit. You can find me on meganjoy.m on Instagram and follow me for more fitness and some handstand stuff.